So what do I think on YouTube? What do I think YouTube is going to become next 10 to 50 years? And I actually think YouTube will become a everything app. And I'm going to explain why. I think in the very beginning, we pretty much passed, in my opinion, 3 major steps. Step 1 was the very first social media apps was created, stuff like Facebook and even YouTube. And that was a very important step in life, because when you realize that we have these social media apps, people ended up liking it because they're social, and because we're social, people end up liking these social media apps, especially YouTube, because you can communicate with videos and stuff like that. And I think that's why it grew, and YouTube just grew because it not only even dominated with being practically an everything app in the beginning, but I think it was also one of the very first ever apps, and I think that's why it's dominated now. So I think step 1 we have passed, and I think step 1 is pretty much introducing social media. I think step 2 also passed, where we saw stuff like Skype and stuff like this, and I think what happened is people were testing social media and testing it by literally just testing Skype again, stuff like that. And so I think step 2 again passed, and here's step 3, and this one we somewhat passed. I think just step 3 is more and more people going on social media, and I think we are somewhat past that already, because I think we're on step 4. And what is step 4? Step 4, in my opinion, is probably people leaving social media because they have so much social medias. And I think that's what happened, because there's so much social medias. And I think we're in an era where I can even call it step 4.5, I guess, where we're in an era where people just creating social media apps to the point where people's like, I don't want to manage 7 to 10 fucking social media apps. Like, I have a fucking life. Like, bro, I can be working at what, you know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. And I think just social media in general, I think right now we're seeing so much apps to the point where people will get tired. And I think people's going to be like, okay, we need one app. We need one specific app so we can just, stay there. And I think step 5 comes in. I think step 5 will be the final step of everything. And I think step 5 is people's going to choose the app. And I think the app is Google. I really do. Wait, Google? I mean YouTube. And I think the reason why I think YouTube will be dominant even thousands of years from now is because it really has a strong niche from the very beginning. Let's start with community posts. Nobody sees this, and I feel like it's just me, but community posts are simply just like X, just like Threads, just like Blue Sky. People don't see it, but it's better. Why? Because you are communicating with your creators. That's the main thing. So let me explain, okay? So on X, you're pretty much scrolling down, you're seeing creators, typing random shit. While Blue Sky, or not Blue Sky, while YouTube, you can literally go on your favorite creator, see what they say, and then just type and move on with your day. And I feel like the YouTube community app will replace X and stuff like this. I can't speak. But anyways, I think YouTube will replace stuff like this because, I think it's just going to be more dominant. And I think people, at first, people's going to underestimate it, like YouTube Shorts. I'll get to that in a second. But I think people underestimate it. And I'm like, trust me when I say this, and I'm being serious. I think that the community app will be probably a really good thing. It might even replace X, simply because it's one of those things where it's going to be more and more people communicating with other. Again, we're social people, meaning we're going to see an app that can be in a social way. Another thing I feel like YouTube is going to be doing really great on in the future is YouTube Shorts. Again, TikTok doesn't pay well. Okay, now I'll talk about money later, but TikTok really doesn't pay well, right? And so if you think about it, look at YouTube Shorts, okay? I think YouTube Shorts will be very, very, very dominant, and I think it will take over TikTok in the near future. And here's the thing, YouTube Shorts, unlike TikTok, right? YouTube Shorts somehow, some way can make you longer lasting, because you can make longer videos and there's more opportunities on YouTube. I think what's going to happen is YouTube Shorts is going to be longer lasting, because people is going to not only stay, but people's going to see more opportunities for longer term success. Like if you think about it, TikTok really doesn't offer you that. And I'll be 100% honest, it really doesn't. People don't see it now, but I guarantee you in the near future, people will. And people will be like, well, these shorter content may be getting me clips, but what if people's desires is, well, well, I want to get 1 million subscribers one day, people will move on to YouTube and stuff like this. And I think it's going to eventually wrap up to people like, well, I want to get paid for this stuff, what I do. So people may go to YouTube, because YouTube really has a high system and really good system of paying than any other social media apps. Now, even with live streams and stuff like this, I think YouTube will take over live streams eventually, and it's literally happening now. Sometimes when I see live streams on YouTube, like I'll see them, I don't know, I think the highest live stream I've seen was like 119,000 or something, and then I saw a YouTube live stream with like 200K or 300, like something beyond above average. I think it was like a sports thing or something, but even then it was beyond average. And I was like, well, I do think, YouTube might take over live streams, because again, it just pays well and everything is already well, and it has a really strong niche. And even it might even do free movies, and I think everything may be free. Now, let me explain, and I know it sounds a little bit crazy here, okay? But first of all, they're already doing that. If you look at, like there's already stuff that has free movies. But the reason why I may say everything could be free, okay, think of it like this, okay? If you make an hour-long movie and someone, let's say 1 million people watch that 1 hour-long movie, well, that's about 1 million hours, okay? Now, if you think about it, that's crazy, okay? You could be making literally millions of dollars with that 1 million hours without ads in general. So think of that for a second. Imagine popular shows like Naruto or Boruto being on YouTube and they're getting millions of views without ads. They could be getting a lot of money, like even more money than Netflix and stuff like that. That's just my hot take. I don't know, okay? That's personally my hot take, but I think YouTube may even dominate like TV shows and stuff like this. And it sounds far-fetched, but look at SML. Really look at SML and look at how much they're getting paid and how much they're thriving. Fucking Logan has $1 million mansion and still could afford the other people's salaries, you know what I'm saying? So I think it could happen. I think eventually, YouTube may take over Netflix and stuff like that. But mainly, I can see YouTube just taking over everything. Now, if I'm talking like Discord or Snapchat or anything like that, I think it won't. And I think Snapchat and TikTok or not Snapchat and TikTok, but Snapchat and Discord and like even Reddit will die off for one thing, because we have text. Here's the thing, and I think first of all, I'm gonna be very, very calm on this, but I think the CEO of Apple is kind of stupid. Let me explain. I mean, there's a lot of great things that Snapchat offers, but I feel like if the CEO of Apple makes, their calls a little bit more safer, but what I'm suggesting is okay, make messages feel like Snapchat, and because the Snapchat has some really amazing features, why don't you do it? Just copy and paste what Snapchat does into that, and boom, you have everything. And same thing with Discord. I think Discord will die off because we already have phones, and we even have freaking, I don't know, Apple, whatever it's called, Apple computers, though. You can literally go ahead and put your numbers in and call them on the phone, so you can just, you know what I'm saying? So I think these apps won't be unnecessary. They will literally be not necessary at all in the near future, in my opinion. And I think just people are going to realize they can just use their phones, and at the same time, maybe there could be a feature, right? Maybe there could be a feature where, I don't know, it's just a random feature where you could separate your phone number from messages. Like, for example, you could let's say create a random message icon or something like that. So if you don't want to give someone your number, you could give them your name tag of your message. So make your numbers feel like it's, make your phone number feel like it's work only, and your text messages feel like whatever. Separate them. I don't know. I'm so bad at explaining things. I would rather just take a picture and be like, boop, here it is. Even then, my picture sucks. So anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say with social media and stuff like this. I just want to make a quick video simply because I also talked about ChatGPT and stuff like this, a lot of it. But I do think that, social media in general will 100% be taken over. YouTube, will 100% be taken over everything. And I think it's slowly starting out now. And I think people just don't realize it. And it's because, YouTube is all in our lives. But if you really think about it, YouTube has a potential to take over almost every single video app out there. And I think, stuff like Snapchat and Discord, even Facebook or Instagram, I think a lot of, first of all, Facebook and Instagram, I think a lot of this stuff may be taken over by YouTube, knowing, community and all of that stuff. But mainly, I think, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that YouTube just has a really high possibility, and I think that, you know, one day it will. I think like Discord, or, you know, like I said, Discord, and whatever the other name, Snapchat, you know, those stuff. I think those social medias will eventually die out, simply because, you know, it's mainly the stuff that we have. And before I leave, I forgot to mention something here is I feel like a lot of social media apps nowadays are replicating the stuff we already have. So for example, Snapchat, we already have texting, right, and stuff like that. And I think it's just gonna die off because, you know, I think when people finally realize Snapchat is just like this is my hot take. I'm not biased on Snapchat or Discord. Like, it's just one of those things where it's just like it's there, I guess. But personally, I think, like, you know, I think what's gonna happen, people's gonna be like, well, hey, we have stuff like this. We already have like communication apps and stuff like this. Why am I, you know, creating, or why am I being on these social media apps? You know, because it's already replicating the stuff I have. Like, why do I have Snapchat when I have text messages? I could be texting my friends on there. I don't know. Some people tell me it feels different on Snapchat. Honestly, it doesn't for me. Maybe that's just, again, even though I said I don't have any bias, maybe I have a little bit without me knowing. But even then, I just don't really see it, you know, last very long, because it's just simply replicating the stuff that we have, like on YouTube and stuff like this. And I think, you know, even AI content, AI slop, sure, we've seen a lot of rise, but I think personally with AI stuff, I think it's going to get boring. A lot of people say, no, it won't. No, I think it will. And I think the reason is people's going to finally like realize, well, AI is shit, right? It's lazy, it's boring, it's heartless, and people are realizing it. And even then, I think a lot of these content, a lot of these things, I know I'm going off topic, but a lot of these things are just generally going to die out. And I think YouTube may somehow, you know, be the most dominant. But like even Divine, right? Like when Divine comes out, I don't think Divine is going to be, you know, I don't know, like top app or whatever, or even like the top #1 app, short app or whatever. I think YouTube will always replace that. And I think slowly and for surely, I think 10 or 20 or 30 years from now, I definitely think YouTube might replace almost every single app. And I think the only apps we will probably have for social media is probably YouTube. And the reason is because YouTube is an app literally filled for you to do absolutely anything and everything. I think YouTube is an everything app. I think YouTube is one of the top amazing apps out there. I personally love it because it really not only hooked me, but I understood the potential on YouTube in general. And I know people may disagree with me, but I just generally do like YouTube. And I think the reason is because, you know, YouTube really has a audience center of everything. Like if you want to see political stuff, go there. If you want to see whatever, you know what I'm saying? YouTube really has it all, and I think nothing can ever replace it. But I think YouTube may accidentally kill off a lot of these bigger social media apps, even stuff like Facebook and Instagram. I generally do think that if YouTube plays its cards correctly, I think YouTube will 100%, and I mean this guaranteed, 100% be taking over everything, because on the foundations that we already placed. Again, we have billions of active users, like monthly, billions, okay? That's like, we have the #1 most highest active users, and nothing can beat it. Like even generation, I know I know many people actually who never went on YouTube. Just scroll on TikTok. It doesn't matter, because I know that's bullshit, and I know you went there at least one time in your life. And you know, YouTube is just one of those things where everyone will stay there. And I think it's doing its cards correctly. And I think near on in the future, community posts and stuff like this, I think eventually they'll be like, wait a minute, YouTube is actually like taking over. Like, this is great. And I think people are just going to realize, like, we don't need 50,000 social media apps. We just need one. And I think YouTube will be dominant. And I think for texting, social media apps may still be around, but even then, I highly think so, because we already have it on our phones. And even then, most people have most people have work phones and not work phones. And I feel like, you know, if the CEO plays his cards correctly too, I feel like he could have been like, let's replace that, you know, phone number text message, done. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Again, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm just very calm. I'm tired, and it's literally at 1 p.m. It's so exhausting. I literally have a hard time speaking right now because how exhausted I am personally. Because like, bro, it's 1 a.m. I wake up most of the time at 6 or 7 now. 6, 7. I usually wake up 6 or 7, you know. I have stuff to do, and even then, it's like me recording videos like at night, even though I'm not used to, you know, waking up or like even staying up this early. But anyways, early, this late. But anyways, I'm probably gonna go now, and I'll see you guys later. So again, let me know what you guys think on YouTube and being the #1 most successful app out there. Personally, I think it will, even though it's not currently. Probably it's #2, but even then, I think it will be #1. I'm gonna stop yapping. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.